So we've now reached part 4. So now I'm going to be sharing with you a few tips to keep in mind when you're manual focusing. So these tips can help you if you keep them in mind while manual focusing. So these are just a few tips to make your manual focusing life a lot easier. So when pulling focus, you want to concentrate and look very closely at the point of the subject that you want to be focusing on. So it's a 3-inch screen, so it's a pretty small screen. Even if you're on a 5D Mark III, it's a 3.2-inch screen, so it's still pretty small. So you really need to concentrate and look closely at the subject you're going to be focusing on if you're going to judge the focus accurately. So for example, I want to be focusing on this cat here. So I'm going to just look at the blurred out cat. I can tell where it is. So I'm just gonna look very closely at it, just look at it, and then you fine-tune your focus onto it. So this makes your judging a lot accurate, a lot more precise. So it goes without saying. And one more thing is, your focus doesn't have to be dead on right away. For those who are worrying, your focus does not have to be dead on at the exact first point. So you just need to get the focus somewhere around the area, somewhere there, and then fine-tune the focus. Now, for example, again, I'm going to be focusing on the background here, the few lenses in the background. So I'm just gonna get the focus somewhere there and then fine-tune. So I'm going to be focusing back on the cat again, somewhere there, and fine-tune. So those were done deliberately to be a little bit off. It can be on a very minute scale, like so. Somewhere there, fine-tune. Somewhere there, fine-tune. Somewhere there, fine-tune. Somewhere there, fine-tune. And again, somewhere there, fine-tune. Now on the 51.4 lens, it's somewhere there, fine-tune. Back on the cat, somewhere there, fine-tune. So I'm going to be talking about the grip. So when you're gripping the camera and the lens, I tend to always have my hands below the lens. So I'm focusing like so, and I only move my fingers. So this way I'm focusing with my fingers below the lens rather than having my fingers all on top like so. Because if my fingers are on top like so, I can risk getting a pinky in the shot. So, and also when you're focusing, you want to just move your fingers, not the entire hand, like so. So just move your fingers along the focus ring, just move them like so. It minimizes camera shake, and you don't have to move your entire hand around like so, because it will add a whole lot of camera shake to your shots. So just move your fingers like so, and your focus is gonna be nice and smooth, and you won't get too much camera shake out of it. Now let's say if you're focusing on a prime lens like the 50mm 1.4, there's only one ring to worry about, and that is the focus ring. So your right hand is holding the camera, and your left hand basically only has to focus all the work on the focus ring. So it's pretty straightforward. Just keep your hands on the ring and keep focusing. However though, if you're on a zoom lens, you have one more ring to worry about. That is the zoom ring. So what are you going to do? You only have one hand free and 5 fingers. So I recommend using just 3 fingers for the job. So you're going to put your thumb and middle finger on the zoom ring and your index finger on the focus ring. So you can zoom with your thumb and middle finger, and you can use your index finger to just guide the ring to somewhere there, like the technique we talked about. Just get it roughly there, approximately there. Use your index finger to just guide the focus, and then when you're done zooming, you can move your thumb and middle fingers up onto the focus ring and use them to further fine-tune your focus. So it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if given the choice and you have access to a monopod, it can make your life a lot more easier. So let's say if you mount it onto your camera, it takes a lot of weight off your hands and it stabilizes the camera. So basically it's less shake, less weight, smoother pulls. And of course, if your subject doesn't move and you have a tripod, it's really very simple. You just leave the camera on the tripod, your subject's not moving, point your camera at the subject, pre-focus just for once, and leave it. However though, if you're shooting a moving subject, you're going to stay very alert and be always sharp and observant. You want to know what's going on, so you have to anticipate where your subject is going to be moving. So you have to somewhat guess their movement. So basically just stay alert and keep refocusing, keep tuning your focus, keep looking at your subject. Don't just stare at your screen, look around, just be observant and stay sharp. Now, if you want the best results, you always have to practice. So a way to practice is set up a subject and have something in the foreground and something in the background, and just keep adjusting focus onto the foreground and then back to the background, back onto the foreground, background, foreground, background, foreground. So you keep focusing. So this way you keep switching focus between subjects, and it gives you a sort of a feel to what actual focus should be like. Do it a few times, and once you get the hang of it, you'll find yourself doing focus a lot more smoothly and confidently when you're shooting out in the field. Apart from that, another nice way to focus is just point your camera around and focus on anything you can find. So point your camera around, find a subject, and just focus on something. For example, like I'm doing now, I'll be focusing on this pencil, and I point it around, focus it at something, point it around. So this is good for action training. This actually helps out very much if you're shooting moving objects. So fast moving objects especially, it trains your brain to just react faster to things and nail what you want to focus, and just train your reflexes to focus on things when they're constantly changing or moving. So that is it on manual focusing with a DSLR in video. So I hope my guide has helped many of you if you're trying to conquer your fears over manual focusing or whatever. So I really hope my guide has helped all of you, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer them. So thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting a lot more videos soon. So thank you very much. This is Cheng from ZarekProductions.com, and I'll see you in the next video.